Not too long ago, we had a story about how Weibo users felt regarding the state of Washington putting up marijuana legalization to a popular vote. And just last week, news hit Weibo that the state of Washington has made history as the first state in the U.S. to legalize marijuana for adult recreational use. Now, for some Weibo users, the news came as a shock, not because they are against marijuana, but rather they were surprised that cannabis was illegal in the U.S. Now, many pointed out that from the depiction of marijuana in American movies and TV shows, it didn't seem like it was an illegal substance at all. People were shown smoking pot in American media more often than they were shown smoking cigarettes. And here's what some of them had to say.
I've seen a lot of American movies that support the legalization of marijuana. I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before it became legal. What? You mean it was illegal? But so many movies and TV shows depict people using the drug like it was a can of beer. I thought it was already legalized. To be honest, I just don't know why these young people living in the US and Britain like marijuana so much. I think marijuana is probably more harmful than tobacco.
Well, I guess it was only a matter of time. Now, there have been much debate about the pros and cons of legalizing the substance, not only in the U.S., but in Canada as well. One of the reasons that people brought up in favor of legalization was that people were already doing it anyways. Might as well make some money off it, have it contribute to society in some way. Now, there were many supporters of the new rule, and here are some of their comments.
I don't think it's that bad. Now they can cut down crimes related to illegal sales of the substance. Not only can this new rule reduce the crime rate, but also increase tax revenue.
However, not everyone is so mellowed out. Now, many more conservative internet users still believe that there is very little difference between recreational drugs and hard drugs. China practices very strict control over illegal substances like drugs, which are called poisons in Mandarin. Information on drugs are limited and there's really no education about it. Everything from heroin to methamphetamines to cannabis and opiates are lumped together into the poisons category and demonized. The closest that most Chinese people get to drugs is that once in a while you get news that a so-and-so Chinese celebrity was caught using drugs in a nightclub. And then you get a press meeting with said celebrity denouncing his own behavior and most likely cry a few crocodile tears for the cameras. Now, for most Chinese people, the line in the sand is pretty clear. Drugs are bad. And here's what they think of Washington State's crazy decision.
What's wrong with the state? To be honest, I can understand legalizing same-sex marriage. But why would they legalize marijuana? I think they legalized it because they couldn't control it. Having everything in the open makes it easier to control, I guess. Since it's now legalized, I bet there will be a lot of Americans going to Washington State just for marijuana.
China has had a massive drug problem in its past, and the government had run a very expensive and massive war on drugs campaign. It's just that the war on drugs gave Great Britain the excuse to conduct the war on China. Now, the Opium Wars occurred almost 200 years ago. However, thanks to a number of historical movies and TV dramas, the struggles of the Chinese people against the evils of drugs are still quite vivid in the minds of the average Chinese person.